It's officially been 10 years since I started this nostalgic web series as a middle schooler in his bedroom to now as an adult in a different bedroom. With how much time has passed, you're probably wondering what are my favorite Nostalgic episodes. It's always hard given the number keeps going up, but I narrowed it down to my personal 10 favorites. Keep in mind that this isn't an official list of any sort. There's no such thing when it's all a matter of opinion, so here it goes. Number 10, Crybaby Lane. This one has been on the list since 2013, I believe, and it only took me 6 years to finally get around to it, because when you think about it, there's honestly not that much to say about the movie. This could have been a generic spooky kids film that most of the world forgot about, but thanks to the internet, it was resurfaced with multiple airings, YouTube re-uploads of TV rips, many discussions on the film's one night only airing. It was all done to death. So of course I threw my hat into the ring. I talked about its one night only premiere, its resurgence, and then after that, it turned to a very basic review of the movie, hence why this is very low on the list. And even after this episode came out, there is still no home video release of Crybaby Lane. But I won't lose sleep over it. I guess it'll just be one of those films that time forgot.
I don't have a driver's license.
What? You said you did!
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry!
Number 9, Cool Cat Saves the Kids. This film, I think, needs no introduction. If you've been on the internet around 2015, 2016, then you know the story. The director of this anti-bullying PSA film got mad at people making fun of his movie, so he decided to become a bully himself. Copyright strikes, making YouTube delete their channels, only to have them come back. If you know, you know. I was going to talk about this movie at first, around late 2015, early 2016, but at that point, everyone and their grandma had discussed it. It wouldn't be until Bob Show's segment on his YouTube channel, Guest Show, where he allowed fellow reviewers to discuss the film. This again was a basic episode, and during a time where I didn't like any of my older episodes. I still don't, but that's just as a creator. But the Cool Cat video was different. I was getting recognition from the video at the time, but a few years ago, my friend Morgan told me that he saw the episode and he was dying of laughter. I even quote a certain joke from that video to this day.
So come on, kids, let's all go to Cool Cat's Funhouse!
Come on, kids! Follow me to the Cool Cat Mobile! Exquisite!
Number 8, The Emoji Movie and Woody Woodpecker. This was a result of a straw poll I made in the previous episode due to this being episode 75. One film being called The Worst of 2017, and the other one just released on DVD in the US in 2018, while it had the honor of a theatrical release in Brazil. Which, of course, ended in a tie, meaning this was my first double feature review. But this won't come back to bite me in the ass, resulting in burnout.
You'll be sorry!
The highlights from this one for me is when Woody is captured by the poachers, he can easily slip through the bars, but just decides not to.
If you two so much as touch a hair on my friends' heads, I'll peck you new ones. And I ain't talking about nostrils.
Why can't you slip through the bars? Why can't you slip through the bars? Why can't you slip through the bars?
And the fight scene with Woody Woodpecker at the end revealing himself to be Fred Figglehorn from the Fred trilogy. Little bit of AVGN Crazy Castle inspiration on that end. Number 7, my MST3K DVD Collection. This was my first episode back in mid or late 2020, which, as we all know, that year was very horrible and stressful. So trying to come up with ideas for new videos or even trying to film was hard. But I had to do something to make myself feel better and try to make others laugh, so I came back with 3 new videos that year. This was also part 1 of MST3K Week Year 2, something I did back in 2018. But trying to keep up on the editing for this one was really hard to do. Nonetheless, the best way I can describe this episode is different. I talked about how the show started off on home video, how the rights were transitioned from Rhino to Shout Factory, talked about my personal experience on getting them in random orders, the creativity of the menus, and some of my personal favorite box sets. Now, if I ever return to doing MST3K Week, that's still unknown at this point, but if I do, there will be some changes.
They keep circulating the tapes.
Number 6, Jacko. This honestly might be one of my favorite movies that I've covered on the show. But not for the right reasons. The way the film keeps changing titles, characters somehow accidentally killing themselves, and the acting from some of these people. Good lord.
Hey, get out of the yard!
This was also during a time where I was experimenting with episodes since I was working on the first MST3K week, 3 normal length reviews for October, and to think, I just finished episode 75. Yeah, 2018 was a crazy year for Nostalgia Kid videos. Even though I acted kinda angry at the movie in this video, I do love this film, specifically for how bad it is. And the excitement I got from when I saw this getting the riff tracks treatment, Jacko is a film that absolutely deserved it.
Get out of the yard.
Number 5, MST3K Cry Wilderness vs. Avalanche. Another experimental episode, this time with a franchise I definitely do not have an unhealthy love for. I've already done an episode covering season 11, so I figured, why not do a video covering what was classified as the 2 fan favorites of said season, Cry Wilderness and Avalanche. I love how this episode was structured, with talking about each episode in depth in 5 categories. The hardest, I believe, to me was describing the movie plots and riffs. One was trying to understand the film and actually paying attention to what it was saying, while the other was writing down some of my favorite riffs from the SOL crew.
The good news is that now I have time for an internal monologue. Being a dad is, ooh,
For lunch, I'll just do protein shakes and baby salad. Keep it light.
I would like to do another episode like this again, but maybe not with MST3K. Maybe with other stuff in the future. Who knows? We'll see. Their plane crashes into a side of a mountain, exploding a giant fireball, and everybody died!
Except for me. You know why? 'Cause I have my tray table up.
Number 4, Halloween 2018. This might just be one of, if not my favorite Halloween review I've done. Of course, this was the time with the newest film that was coming out, Halloween Kills, so the only way to do that is to do a review of the previous film for those who haven't seen it yet or need a refresher. As shown in the video, I covered a lot of films in this series, and I pretty much ran out of bad Halloween sequels. So, I turned to doing some of the good ones, even throwing in a quick mini review of the original 1978 classic. This is also the longest Nostalgia Kid episode to date, clocking in at a little bit over an hour and 8 minutes. It was an accident. I guess that's what happens when you have a lot to talk about, especially when it's something you're very passionate about.
Hey, get out of the yard!
Wait a minute! I'm thirsty!
Number 3, Max Keeble's Big Move. Nowadays, I think this might be your classic textbook example of a Nostalgia Kid episode. There's a childhood connection with the movie, explain how I first saw the film either on TV or home video. I go into depth, talking about the film, praising some of the over-the-top acting, making childish-like jokes, and not ashamed to go a little dark with some of them.
You're not even real. Get away from me!
Does some of the stuff in the film hold up today? No. But do I have a major soft spot for it? Yes. Yes, I do.
Alright, who's first? I know! How about the smelly goat?
Number 2, Daphne and Velma. I tried going through any of the live-action Scooby-Doo reviews to see which one personally stuck out to me. After doing a marathon of the live-action movies and sadly seeing the decline of them, I can still say that Daphne and Velma might just be the worst one. Looking back, I do kinda get what the film was trying to do, that being an empowerment movie, especially for young girls. But personally, I think there's better films out there. Going back to how I think this is the worst live-action Scooby-Doo movie is all the issues. How this doesn't feel like Scooby-Doo aside from following some certain beats. So many dumbass things in this that it fueled me with ammunition. I had plenty to work with. I was really happy with my critiques and comedic responses to what was happening in the movie.
As they're caught by Piper, who punishes them with lunch lady duty and makes them wear shame stickers. Wait, what?
How do you feel?
Exactly the same. But shamed.
Yeah.
So shamed.
Yeah, good. Really ashamed. Good.
Okay, is this a high school or a preschool?
Say hello to the shame drum.
And my number one favorite Nostalgia Kid episode, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius. This was also the 100th episode. To begin with, I was genuinely surprised that I never talked about this movie. I even went back to check past episodes to see if I haven't covered it yet. Some of the stuff I mentioned talking about Max Keeble sticks here too. I grew up with Jimmy Neutron, both the film and the TV show. This could have been just a generic review of the movie, but that wasn't enough. This was a huge milestone, so it had to go big. I did research for this episode, going into the origins of the franchise, even finding the test footage from 1995. I take you back to how I saw this movie on VHS, even making jabs at some of the previews.
My parents' room is back there.
Yeah, they've been dead for a few days. No idea what happened.
But of course, the icing on the cake, as you all know, was getting cameos from Mark DiCarlo and Debbie Derryberry. Shout out to Morgan for helping me out on that. The way I structured this episode was also fun, throwing in some obscure references to past episodes, a small clip show near the beginning, and even doing throwbacks to past jokes I've done. But my favorite part to me was the end credits showing still shots from big moments in past episodes, from 2012 all the way to now. That was a very subtle way to just say thank you. A thank you to the viewers for watching the videos and sticking around to see me evolve from a teenager all the way to adulthood. Especially when it's just a guy on a couch talking about movies. But everybody's choices will be different. I know it's hard to pick, but I will be interested to know, what are your favorites?